The gym echoed with the squeak of sneakers and the sharp whistle of Coach Davis, but all I could hear was the pounding of my own heartbeat. Sweat dripped down the back of my neck as I clutched the edges of my worn, faded sweater, the only thing between me and the eyes of the world. I knew today was going to be bad the moment I stepped into the locker room that morning. The snickers. The whispers. The way a few girls exchanged glances like they were planning something cruel. But nothing could have prepared me for the moment it happened, for the ripping sound that cut through the air like a gunshot, followed by the cold rush of humiliation as my sweater fell apart in their hands. My breath caught. My vision blurred. The laughter was deafening. Before I continue, if you believe in kindness, in second chances, in standing up for what's right even when it's hard, please take a second to like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear this, and subscribe to Ripple of Hope. Your support helps us bring more true and powerful stories like this to the world. I wasn't the kind of girl people noticed, at least, not in a good way. My name was Emily, and for most of high school, I existed somewhere between invisible and a target. I was the quiet one in the back of class, the one who wore the same sweater day after day. Not because I loved it, but because I had to. It was my mother's, the last piece of her I had left. She had passed away 2 years earlier after a long, painful battle with cancer, and my father, well, he had been swallowed whole by his grief. Money was tight, too tight for new clothes, too tight for extras, and so that sweater became my armor. It smelled faintly of her perfume, like comfort in a world that felt anything but safe. But to the girls in my class, it was just another reason to mock me. Madison, the ringleader, was everything I wasn't: beautiful, confident, cruel in that casual way that made her dangerous. She never just hurt you, she made sure others laughed while she did it. That day in PE, she cornered me near the bleachers with 2 of her friends, their glossy ponytails swinging like whips. They yanked at my sweater, laughing when I begged them to stop. I felt the stitches straining, heard the fabric tear, and in an instant, my sweater, my mother's sweater, was in pieces on the floor. I froze, every muscle locking. My cheeks burned, and tears threatened to spill, but I swallowed them back. Not here. Not in front of them. I bent down, trembling, to pick up the pieces, but Madison kicked them away with a smirk. And that's when something inside me shifted. It wasn't anger, not at first, it was something colder, sharper. For the first time in years, I felt a clarity that burned through my shame. You see, there was something they didn't know about me. Something no one at school knew. Every day after classes, while they went to the mall or scrolled through their phones, I went to the old community center on 5th Street. There, an ex-Marine named Sergeant Cole taught me self-defense. It had started as a way to feel safe after my mom died, but over time, I'd grown stronger, faster, more in control. I never wanted to use it. But standing there, surrounded by laughter and cruelty, I realized I didn't have to be a victim anymore. The next few seconds felt like they unfolded in slow motion. Madison reached for me again, but this time I stepped aside, letting her stumble forward. Her friend lunged, but I caught her wrist, twisting gently but firmly until she yelped. Gasps rippled across the gym. Coach Davis shouted, but his voice was a distant echo. I wasn't hurting them, just showing them that I could stop them. That I would stop them. Within moments, the girls who had just been laughing were wide-eyed and backing away, muttering apologies, scrambling to pick up the torn pieces of my sweater like they were holy relics. The rest of the class was silent. It wasn't the kind of silence that comes from shock, it was respect. The kind I had never felt before. I gathered the pieces of my sweater and walked away without another word. My hands were shaking, but it wasn't from fear this time. It was from release, from the weight of years finally lifting. That day changed everything. Madison never touched me again. In fact, she avoided me. But more than that, I learned something powerful, that people can only take your strength if you hand it to them. And I wasn't handing mine over anymore. If this story touched your heart, if it reminded you that strength often hides in the quietest people, please like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, and subscribe to Ripple of Hope. And before you go, I have a special request. Drop a comment below sharing a time you stood up for yourself or someone else. Your story might be the hope someone needs today.